Il y a une chose qui revient permanemment, notamment parlons de la question d'infrastructures, les infrastructures de transport. Et je le disais donc à certaines autorités tout de suite, c'est un problème crucial à tout le Burkina. Nous n'avons pas assez de routes, nous avons très peu de routes et le peu de routes qu'il y a est en train de se dégrader. Donc c'est un constat que nous avons fait, les réseaux routiers souffrent beaucoup. Voilà pourquoi nous avons décidé de lancer l'initiative Faso Mebo, qui n'est qu'à son départ. Mais l'objectif, c'est de doter chaque région d'une brigade de construction de routes.
Tonight, we are not reporting a small story. We are standing at the edge of a moment so big, so loud, so alive, that the air itself feels like it's vibrating. The dust is rising, the engines are roaring, and in every direction I look, history is being written in the soil of Burkina Faso. Ladies and gentlemen, what you are about to witness is not a ribbon-cutting ceremony. It is not another empty promise, not another headline that will fade in tomorrow's paper. This is the birth of a new highway to the future. I am coming to you live from a construction site that stretches as far as the eye can see. To my left, massive earth movers tear through ground that for decades has been neglected, their giant steel claws digging deep into the red earth like they are unearthing the very heartbeat of this nation. To my right, convoys of cement mixers roll in, carrying the lifeblood of progress, pouring the foundation for roads that will carry dreams, trade, and transformation across this land. The air is thick with the smell of fresh tar and the sound of possibility, and at the center of it all, boots planted firmly in the soil, is Captain Ibrahim, the man who has dared to put 15 billion of Burkina Faso's own wealth into the largest road infrastructure project in our history. No begging bowls, no strings attached, no Western aid packaged with hidden chains. This is funded by us for us, built by our own engineers and workers, powered by the determination of a people who refuse to be trapped by the old maps drawn in colonial boardrooms. Look around me, I wish you could feel what I feel right now. Women selling roasted maize to the workers, children waving flags and chasing each other between the scaffolding, old men leaning on their walking sticks just to get a glimpse of the machines. The air is alive with songs, traditional praise, chants blending with the hum of diesel engines. Somewhere in the crowd, a griot is reciting poetry about roads that will connect farmers to markets, children to schools, and patients to hospitals. And over the loudspeakers, the captain's voice cuts through the noise like thunder. These roads will be the veins of our nation, carrying the lifeblood of our economy, the lifeblood of our unity. We are not building shortcuts, we are building a future. This is more than asphalt. These are the arteries that will pump life into every corner of Burkina Faso, linking the villages of the north to the bustling heart of Ouagadougou, carrying grain from the fertile valleys to the cities, carrying hope to places long forgotten. The skeptics said it couldn't be done without foreign control. The doubters whispered that Africa must always wait for someone else's money. But today, the sound of the bulldozers is drowning them out. Ladies and gentlemen, this is not just Burkina Faso's story, this is Africa's story. Because when one African nation shows the courage to invest in itself, when one leader chooses sovereignty over dependency, when one people say, we will build with our own hands, the ripple is felt far beyond its borders. From Dakar to Dar es Salaam, from Lusaka to Lagos, they will hear about this day. The day Captain broke ground not only on roads, but on a new mindset for our continent. So stay with us. The dust is rising, the machines are moving, and the future is rolling out like a fresh layer of asphalt, smooth, unbroken, and unstoppable.
Welcome to Talk of Africa 360, your source for insightful news, analysis, and thoughtful commentary. If you value informed perspectives and fact-based reporting, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you never miss an update. Disclaimer: the content on this channel is based on reliable public sources and credible online information. It is intended strictly for educational and analytical purposes. We do not promote or endorse political violence, hate speech, or any form of discrimination. Our goal is to inform, not to inflame. Thanks for being here. Let's stay informed together.
This is Pan-African Independent News reporting to you live from the blazing heart of a nation that has decided to shape its own destiny. I am standing here where the ground is shaking, where steel is bending, and where history is being poured into the soil with every turn of the machines. The sun is high over Ouagadougou, but no one here is bothered by the heat. The air is alive with the growl of engines, the clang of iron, the shouts of foremen, and the rhythmic pounding of hammers. Dust hangs in the air like gold mist, catching the light and settling on the shoulders of the men and women who, in bright orange vests and hard hats, are writing a chapter in Burkina Faso's history that no one will ever erase. This is not aid money, not a foreign grant tied with strings. This is a $15 billion investment by our own government launched by Captain Ibrahim Traoré himself to rebuild and expand the lifelines of this nation, its roads. I can see, even now, the pride in the eyes of those who have gathered here. Old farmers from the villages, their hands hardened by years of working the land, stand next to young students in freshly pressed shirts who skipped class to be part of this moment. Women with babies tied to their backs watch in awe as bulldozers rip through ground that has for decades been left barren by neglect. Vendors are here too, selling roasted peanuts, ice-cold water, and small flags bearing the red, green, and yellow of our motherland. A group of motorcyclists rev their engines in celebration, their tires spinning dust into the air, as if to say, "We are ready for the road ahead." And somewhere in the middle of this sea of faces is Captain Ibrahim Traoré himself, his military beret set firm on his head, his boots planted in the soil like a tree that refuses to be uprooted. When he stepped forward earlier, the crowd roared as if the whole earth had been waiting for his signal to begin. He spoke not with hesitation, but with the weight of a man who knows that what he launches today will outlast his own lifetime. These roads, he said, will not be built for the few. They will be for the farmer who must bring his harvest to market without losing half to rot on the way. They will be for the child in the village who can now reach school without walking 10 kilometers in the dust. They will be for the sick who must reach hospitals in hours, not days. These roads are not for Burkina Faso alone. They are for Africa. His voice carried over the machinery, over the murmurs, over the clatter of progress itself. And in that moment, you could feel it, the energy of a people realizing that concrete and asphalt can carry not just trucks and buses, but dreams and dignity. We left the main site just minutes ago, the cameras rolling as we drove along the stretch of old road that will soon be widened into a gleaming artery of commerce. I am in the back of a pickup now, my microphone in hand, describing the scenes as they pass. To my left, children wave as we go by, some running barefoot alongside the truck until their laughter fades into the distance. To my right, a long convoy of construction vehicles rumbles past, their tires crushing the gravel with a deep, steady rhythm. Behind them, in the shimmering heat, I can just make out the new roadbeds being laid, dark, fresh, and unbroken, like a ribbon unrolling toward the horizon. We stop at a second site where workers are blasting through a stubborn wall of rock. Here, the mood is different, more focused, more intense. These men and women know the value of every minute. Each swing of the sledgehammer, each calculated blast, is another step toward connecting a region that has been isolated for too long. I speak to a foreman named Amadou, a tall man with eyes sharp as steel. He wipes the sweat from his brow and says, "When this road is finished, our market days will change forever. No more spoiled fruit, no more lost customers because of delays. The road will carry our goods straight to the cities and beyond our borders." His words are simple, but his voice carries the certainty of someone who has waited his whole life for this. As we move further north, the terrain changes. The fields stretch wide and dry, the air a little cooler, the wind sharper. We stop again in a small town where the main street is nothing more than a narrow dirt track. Children are drawing lines in the dust with sticks, their games interrupted only by the arrival of our crew. When they hear about the new road, their eyes widen. Some laugh, some whisper to each other, perhaps imagining trucks loaded with goods passing through their town, or buses taking them to see places they've never been. An elderly woman, sitting on a wooden stool outside her home, tells me, "I have seen many leaders make promises, but this one," she points toward a poster of Captain Traoré on the wall of the local shop. "This one came with machines, not words." That is why we believe him. We continue onward, and I can't help but think about what this means beyond Burkina Faso. Roads are not just strips of asphalt. They are lifelines that tie people together, that turn isolation into opportunity. In the colonial days, roads were built to carry resources out of Africa, gold, cotton, cocoa, all flowing toward foreign ports. Today, these roads will carry Africa's wealth to Africa's people. That is why this moment feels so different. We are not building paths of extraction. We are building paths of liberation. And in this spirit, the Captain's $15 billion plan is not an act of mere governance. It is an act of defiance against the belief that African nations must wait for others to build for them. Back in the capital, the inauguration ceremony is in full swing. I can hear music in the distance, drums, balafons, and the steady rhythm of traditional praise songs mixed with the cheers of thousands. The captain is speaking again now, his words broadcast over loudspeakers. Let no one tell us we cannot build. Let no one tell us we must wait. Let no one tell us that the roads to our future are in the hands of others. Today, we break the ground. Tomorrow, we will break the chains. The crowd erupts, flags wave, and a young boy climbs onto his father's shoulders to get a better view, his eyes fixed on the man who has dared to dream at this scale. In every face I see here, there is something more than excitement. There is ownership. These roads will not belong to some foreign company with a 30-year concession. They will not be toll gates draining the pockets of our own citizens to feed outside shareholders. They will be ours, maintained by our own engineers, patrolled by our own security, serving our own people. And that, perhaps, is why this launch feels so alive. It is not just a construction project. It is a declaration that we can, and will, build our own future with our own hands. The cameras are still rolling as we prepare to head east, where the first major bridge of the project will be constructed. I can see in my mind already the traders who will cross it, the students who will walk it, the ambulances that will speed across it carrying lives that might otherwise have been lost to delay. And I know this. In years to come, when people ask where the change began, they will point to days like this. Days when the dust rose like gold in the air, when machines sang the songs of sovereignty, and when a people decided that the road ahead would be theirs to build.
As reactions continue to pour in from across the continent, one thing is clear. Africa is demanding respect, sovereignty, and accountability. Was this just a diplomatic misstep or a deeper sign of shifting global alliances? We'll be watching closely. If you found this story important, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more real, unfiltered African news. This is Talk of Africa 360, telling the stories that matter.